Streaming live, Wada.
Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com. And this video from Krasi will focus on the beginning of the new astrological year, the way the ancient Babylonians and Sumerians were calculating it from the start of the spring. And Krasi will lead us through the 12 signs of the zodiac sidereally, and should mention each sign tropically as well. And this forecast is extremely important because it shows the trends for the next 12 months. Isn't it so, Krasi?
Indeed, indeed. Hello, everyone. Yes, because according to Hermes Trismegistus, the beginning of every cycle describes how the whole cycle will look like. So we are starting a new cycle, lunar cycle. According to the ancients, Babylonians, Sumerians, before that, the new year would begin with the appearance of the first lunar crescent after the sun enters the point of the vernal equinox. Now, the Sumerian tradition is such, the older tradition is such that exactly what we're looking at now. It means the sun will be in Aquarius, and the moon appears traditionally in Pisces. The moon appears in Pisces, and this is the point of the vernal equinox for our era, Pisces.
Guys, Krasi, it's not going live. It says it's live, but it's not going to YouTube.
Because I see live read and live on YouTube. Now live on YouTube. Huh.
It's not letting me. Just a second. My laptop is not even going to YouTube. Might be just my laptop.
We have to check. Let me check.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We need to make sure it's.
I am trying to see what
It says okay. I'm seeing it on phone. Ah, yeah. Okay, it's live.
I see us. Okay. All right. So yes, the beginning of every cycle, and this is the new cycle we're entering with the appearance of the first lunar crescent. Traditionally, every year this is happening in Pisces, because in Pisces we have the point of the vernal equinox for our era astronomically. Now, for the ancients, this was great event. The astronomer, astrologer would climb high in this in the temples. They would have these towers, ziggurats, and they would look at the sky, and whatever they see with the appearance of the moon, the first lunar crescent, this was the horoscope of the whole year. And this is happening on the 3rd. Is it the 3rd? Yes, this is the 3rd of March. So we have to look at the sky. The first lunar crescent, when it appears, this is the description of the new year. So this is the 1st of Nisan. They had great celebrations of 14 days. They would give, they would praise each and every divinity, like, let's say for Babylon, this would be Marduk, Jupiter. They would praise him. And these were very active rituals for approximately 14 days. So it's a very important day. How this day is looking like for us. So this is the beginning of the new year, 3rd of March, 1st of Nisan, and it ends again in March 2023. How this day looks like. Yes, traditionally we see the moon in the vicinity of the 4th, 5th degrees of Pisces, where is the point of the spring equinox for the northern hemisphere, north equinox for the south. Now, first, the moon represents us, the people. Jupiter is ruling the moon, and Jupiter happens to be invisible. But what it's amazing. Jupiter and the sun together, invisible, are in very sacred degrees. These are the degrees of the waterman pouring the water.
Ooh, the 20th. degree.
Yes, exactly, the 20 degrees Aquarius, where the waterman is pouring the water. These are degrees of abundance, because the water of the river Eridanus, that the river starts from, the water coming from Aquarius, the ancient Enki, one of the primal gods, it is abundance of Aquarius-like stuff.
Right.
Like we really, yes, we will taste a lot from the new era of Aquarius on one side, and then sacred knowledge. I do believe that even if we're going through controlled awakening, I think we will have more luck to further our awakening, really, because these are degrees of awakening. These are sacred, amazing sacred degrees, very sacred. In the whole zodiac, there are not 15 such degrees, there are only 7. 360 degrees, 7 out of them are sacred, and one of them is the 20th degree Aquarius. So Jupiter, or the ruler of the moon, which is so important now because we're talking about lunar cycle, and the sun exactly in the water Eridanus, I do believe that even though this is controlled awakening for sure, we will get so much more to see.
The year ahead, your mean will be extremely, yeah. So it's a very good sign for the year ahead.
This I see as a very good sign. Now, in addition, what is also happening, we have also in the very same moment, everyone was talking about this Mars-Venus conjunction. I think even on the 14th of February, I think you wrote that it's exactly conjunct, that these two are exactly conjoined, Mars and Venus, the planets.
They're very close together, yeah.
Yes, even at the moment of on the 3rd of March, they will be conjoined. And where in Capricorn? Yes, and in the same moment in Capricorn, we're having invisible Saturn, invisible Mercury. And if you ask the Indians, all planets are on one side, and they are limited by Rahu and Ketu. And this they describe as yoga, which promises difficulties. It means I see the year as much easier than the year 2022 and 2020, but it will not be very easy because the process of awakening is never easy. Because when we see, I remember when I first started seeing the truth, I was seeing something like depression. Doesn't matter how much I hate this word. It was shock. It was shock. Now, all planets are on one side, and Rahu and Ketu are making this, separation, like on one side. This is showing definitely that the year will not be easy. Now, Mars and Venus together, the personal planet, which are so much about our emotions, so much about our, they are in Capricorn. I think we will be suppressed. Because Saturn is still there, because Mercury, the freedom of speech, again, the manipulation of that we hear through the media, Saturn is exactly conjoining Mercury. So this is an ongoing situation. But very interestingly, two exact conjunctions, Jupiter and the Sun, and Mars and Venus in Capricorn, this will not promise better markets. This is deepening of the financial crisis. You see Mars and Venus in Capricorn with Pluto. This is plant suppression of the with Pluto, plant suppression of the economies of the world, furthering the crisis which is happening now.
Why is the economies? Because Venus is money.
Yes, and they're in Capricorn with Saturn.
Okay.
And with Saturn, exactly, the government's hidden because Saturn is invisible, and Pluto is also with them. And it will be very emotional, most probably. I even think that people, the reaction of the people, like the protests, this will be more suppressed. You will not see that many protests anymore because Mars and Venus and Mars together and Pluto in Capricorn under the influence of Saturn, either the protests will be controlled or there will be just less. This is how I read this this situation.
Is Saturn also in sidereal Capricorn at that time?
Saturn, Mercury, sidereal Capricorn, with Venus and Mars in sidereal Capricorn.
Heavy a boot is coming of stamp.
Exactly.
We were seeing they're stamping out all the, like the convoy, they stamped out, and with very heavy-handed, like taking out properties of anyone who participated, taking out their and putting them in jail. So I guess
This is beyond unbelievable. Yes, but look,
Same
when you look at the horoscope of the convoy, what else to expect? The horoscope of convoy, they started on a waning moon, nearly becoming invisible.
Well, it's send off ripples around the world. Let's see if the other convoys can make a difference.
Yes,
But
if they're not controlled, like, because this situation that I see is showing a bit of control on people's emotional reactions.
But at least there is the Jupiter with Sun in the sidereal, in the constellation of Aquarius on the waters of knowledge and awakening. So that's the good side of the new year.
That's the very good side of this. And this chart looks better than the horoscopes of the 2 previous years. This is important to say. Yes, but there is no way to have easy awakening. No one of us experienced easy awakening. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way.
People usually have awakening after near-death experience, death or cancer or something, or someone dying. It's never through pleasant experience.
Yes, or grief or shock. And then I don't see this as that extreme anymore, because I think we were already shocked 2 years ago. Everyone was pretty much in. But it is another year which is not very easy. But well, only when you look at the lunar nodes, which are put in on one side, isolating on one side of the planets, you see that it will be heavy control. But what is also important is that the 2 lunar nodes are moving into Libra and Aries, and this is changing also the focus of the year, because I think what they aimed at the financial systems, the initial change which they wanted to achieve, I think they achieved. And now this is not so much the focus anymore. So these eclipses which are happening in Aries, Libra, are total new beginning. They're not the same.
It will be about peace war. Peace war.
Maybe like that, yes. But maybe reestablishing the balance, because this is Libra Aries. Maybe this will lead to reestablishing the balance, because the universe cannot stay without balance. If there is lack of balance, all natural forces are trying to reestablish it. So yes, see, this is more positive picture. I know it won't be very easy, but it will be easier than the last 2 years. And we have to be very philosophical, very patient, very wise, and understand our true powers, how powerful we are. So not to fall under any fears, worries, because it is getting easier. Because look, another thing is happening. On the 14th of April, Jupiter moves into sidereal Pisces. For the first time, we'll have real help. See, this is, he was all the time either in Capricorn or in Aquarius, from where he was much weaker. Now he goes on the 8th or 9th of April, he becomes visible, and then he comes into Pisces. This is better, greater help. So we have so much hope and hopeful events happening on the sky that there are no reasons to be afraid. But I want to say that we exactly predicted that this is the end of the the pandemic stuff, and exactly as we said, exactly this is how it is happening. Total shift of the agenda, total shift of the whole scenario.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, Let's look, if you want, at the 12 ascendants. Now let's look at March. We spoke about February before. Now let's look at March, if you want, unless something else you want us to say.
Oh, you're starting with the predictions for the 12 signs now?
Yes.
Perfect. Yes, carry on.
Okay, so yes, we're looking at the month of March. Just 1 second. We, as usual, we look from sidereal perspective and also tropical, meaning that I will name the sidereal, ascendant, and also the tropical and also the lunar sign. So, excuse me, just to adjust my, starting with Aries, so it will be sidereal Aries, or moon in Aries, or this will be tropical Taurus, so people who have Aries ascendant. So what happened for you? Actually, this is classical situation for our era. The moon appears in March for the first time in Pisces. This is your 12th house. And in the very same moment, you have your Mars, your ascendant ruler, who represents you, together with Venus on your 10th house, with all other planets, with Saturn, Mercury, Pluto. This is actually very interesting, somehow emphasizes on your career. So if you're already going through career modifications, which you probably do, this will change somehow the agenda, change the sphere. There will be some difference, can be very emotional, can be very busy. Too many events can happen at the same time. You may need to be a little bit patient and cautious and very diplomatic. On the other hand, this first appearance of the moon in Pisces for you is not bad. This will be your protection. This will be your choice to opt for self-isolation, to rely on your intuition. Actually, this is somehow a saving point. On the other hand, Jupiter and the Sun for you, and Neptune even, are in Aquarius in these sacred degrees that we just spoke about with Wada. This is very good. This is sacred degrees are a lot about knowledge, awakening. This will be true, people that you know. You will maybe have, again, a very comfortable, you feel very comfortable among friends or social circle, people that will teach you, that will help you to see the truth. This particular conjunction can also be, if you listen to your intuition to make the right decisions, can be very benevolent for your finances. Only you need to be a bit diplomatic at your career place, because all these planets in Capricorn show tension eventually, which will pass. But in April, the situation will change very much. But you may need to be cautious. Also, because of this very interesting situation, I would say both planets on which we rely for success, Jupiter and Venus, are not very helpful when it comes to new business initiatives, new beginnings. So I don't advise you to start something new. Better to be diplomatic and to wait and see what the future has for you. Other than that, you can travel. You can even teach others, choose to do spiritual activities, to meditate, but really be a little bit careful when it comes to your career place. Now, let's see people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus or moon in Taurus, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Gemini. Now for you, your ascendant ruler, Venus, She's in Capricorn with Mars, with Saturn, with Mercury. This is suppressing a little bit Venus. It is like you may feel not very joyful. You feel a bit too emotional. The energies around you are maybe a little bit too heavy. You can be very much driven to knowledge, and this is wonderful. Also to travel, to communicate with people abroad. Oh, these are opportunities, and it is good. But Venus in Capricorn is a little bit suppressed. Mars with Venus, this is too emotional. Now, be a bit responsible how, and actually diplomatic, careful, how you communicate with your partner, let's say, because Mars is ruling your partner, and with Venus together, this is indeed too emotional, too much. So you need to be diplomatic, to rely on your intuition, caring, like that. Because Saturn can play the role to suppress a little bit Venus, which can be a bit of a test for your relationship. But in any case, it is not dramatic. On your 10th house, you have Jupiter and the Sun in the sacred degrees, which we mentioned with Wada. And these sacred degrees are actually very interesting when this happens on your 10th house of your career, of your aims, of your goals. It can be indeed opportunity for awakening, for seeing the truth. It is because the Sun is not at his best position in Aquarius. This can be a lesson and awakening through some disharmony, but still it is an opportunity, and it is not bad. And this can be career opportunity too, who may bring some career change or something. Some can bring event in your career which will make difference somehow, because these are not just degrees in astrology, these are sacred degrees. Somehow there could be an event that will bring or will further your awakening or will give you information. The moon appears for the first time in Pisces, your 11th house. Very nice. This is financially nice, now good for your social circle, good for your children. So it is actually a very good situation. But again, because Venus and Jupiter are not at their best for business, the month may not be very, very appropriate for new business activities, business initiatives, so to say. Then we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini, or this will be tropical Cancer. Now, for you, the first appearance of the moon is happening on your 10th house to emphasize somehow your career. Like this will be your emphasis for the coming month. Not in a bad way, because in the very same moment, Jupiter and the Sun are trining your ascendant from this degree, the sacred degree of knowledge, enlightenment that we spoke about. So this will be like the importance for you to study, to know, to research, and you may get further with your own awakening and receiving information. On the other hand, your ascendant ruler Mercury is with Saturn, with Mars, with Venus, with Pluto. All of them are on your 8th house. This shows the importance on esoteric, occultistic knowledge. Can be interesting for money that you may receive via partnership or the finances of your partner. So in this case, this can be benevolent, will not be really great, like great financial achievements, but will show some development which may not be bad. In any case, the month is fine for knowledge, for study, for spiritual awakening, emphasis on your career, but not in a bad way and not with super great results. But it is not a bad month anyway, and it's not very appropriate for new beginnings, as I said, because of the positions and the phases of Jupiter and Venus, which we need so much when it comes to the results that we desire to achieve. And now we have people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer or moon in Cancer, or if you're looking from the perspective of the tropical astrology, this will be Leo. For you, the moon, your ascendant ruler, appeared for the first time on your 9th house. Ninth house is important. Your knowledge, spreading knowledge because of the nature of the ninth house, communication with people abroad, maybe even travel. This is very important. Sensitive point a little bit could be your relationships or agreements because of the placements of all planets, Venus, Pluto, Mars, Saturn, Mercury on your seventh house. Meaning this month is not very appropriate for negotiations, for new beginnings. Also, you may need to be a little bit diplomatic, loving, caring, careful with your partner, but also with partnerships in general. You have interest to research the occult, esoteric knowledge. You may get results if you research exactly hidden knowledge, but you may need to be cautious, like I mentioned, with your partner. This is the main topic of the month for you. And yes, new beginnings, indeed, because Jupiter and Venus are not in their best phase, promising great results. In March, we can't do so much. We need to maintain the status quo and make benefit of these beautiful spiritual degrees which March is promising us. And then we have Leo, people who have sidereal Leo or moon in Leo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Virgo. So for you, the moon appeared as usual in this time of the year in your 8th house. Importance of knowledge, importance of the occult, importance of researching the occult, importance of helping others, empathic work. Also importance of finances which we may receive through a partnership or the finances of your partner. In the very same moment, the Sun and Jupiter are in the sacred degrees of Aquarius. This is your 7th house. Because Jupiter is invisible, he may not really bring blessing on your relationship, but more knowledge, more you can reach true information, truth, enlightenment somehow through your partner or through events with your partner or with partners that will lead you to your enlightenment and knowledge. But you may still need to be a bit diplomatic and caring with your partner because Jupiter is there, but he's not very helpful. And Saturn is also invisible and he rules your 7th house. So if you're experiencing some disharmony with your romantic life, this is the reason. So you may need to be a little bit patient, at least until late 9 of April. In the same moment, all planets in the 6th house show a lot of work. Maybe you'll be very busy, not with great result, but you will have average financial result. But also could be that you need to be cautious with the people that share your routine environment with, like people that you work with, people that work for you. There you may need, could be a bit too much, too busy, too emotional. There you may need to be diplomatic and you need to be responsible for your health. This is one thing. For the rest, yes, it's an interesting month. Let's see people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or this will be tropical Libra. Now for you, the moon appeared for the first time in Pisces, your 7th house. Of course, this is emphasis on your relationship, on your romantic life, on partnerships. So this is one thing. And in a good sense, because the moon is very strong in Pisces, can give you very good soft emotions. This is fine. Your ascendant ruler Mercury is invisible with Saturn, with Mars, Venus, Pluto, all in your 5th house. Now this has several implications. With Saturn, you may feel a bit limited or a bit suppressed or not really willing to voice, let's say, your concern or voice yourself, or not really, you may feel a little bit suppressed, melancholic too. Too many things may happen in the area of your 5th house, meaning love life, meaning gains, too many activities, too much, but not with great results. But for sure, you may have even the desire to create art or this can have also impact on communication with children. So there you may need to be a bit careful, diplomatic, loving, responsible. This is one of the things too. But this fifth house has very good nature. This is the house of the good fortune. So for sure it will not have a dramatic results, but can give too many things happening, not always very harmonious. You may feel a bit suppressed and not very harmonious, but keep in mind nothing bad will happen, and just maintain the routine with faith, with be diplomatic and caring with children. And even if the results of all these planets meeting in your fifth house is not very, very harmonious and makes you feel too busy, too many things happening, actually it is house which has very beautiful nature. So in the end you will have good results. Just be patient, be diplomatic, be a little bit careful, and concentrate more on creating beauty, art, researching, gaining creative knowledge. There you may have great results. Now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or this will be tropical Scorpio. Now for you, Venus. Venus, your ascendant ruler is with Mars in Capricorn, with Saturn, with Pluto, with Mercury. Too many things, too much, all happening on your fourth house, your home. This can have impact on what is happening in your house. Can be a bit disharmonious, can be too much, too emotional, too many things. Communication with parents, you need to watch out for a little bit. This can have impact on your career. So you may need to be very diplomatic, very patient, knowing what is happening. You already change your intention. You create harmonious environment at home, at work, with your parents, with people that you love, with everyone, because all these areas are a little bit under the influence of the planets, like your romantic life, parents, home, work. So when you're very patient, wise, all this will pass harmoniously too. In the meantime, Jupiter and the Sun are appearing at the moment of the vernal equinox in the sacred degrees of your fifth house, meaning you will get the opportunity to receive beautiful, creative knowledge, spiritual knowledge. You will just have the lucky opportunity for that. The routine, everyday work is like the main topic. This is because the moon appeared for the first time in your sixth house, also your health. So this is what is being emphasized on. So, but not in this harmonious way, but like this will be your main thought. You will be concerned with the routine, you'll be overly involved in the routine, everyday work, and also with your health. New beginnings, like I mentioned, not really appropriate in March due to the fact that the planets Venus and Jupiter are not in the right phases for that. But you can maintain very wisely the status quo for good. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Scorpio or moon in Scorpio, or if you're looking at from the modern tropical perspective, this will be Sagittarius. Now, for people who have ascendant Scorpio, Mars is very strong, exalted in Capricorn, very strong. You may feel powerful, strong, energetic. This is because also Venus and Pluto are with Mars. Very emotional. Therefore, it is too much. You may need to be a bit cautious, delicate, loving with your partner, in general with partnerships. Saturn and Mercury are also there, which will give you the very good opportunity to study, to research. Even you can travel because you may be driven to this. You will certainly be driven to knowledge, to know, to research, and this is happening in your third house. So yes, indeed, it is very much, can be a bit too much and can bring up issues with brothers and sisters, let's say. Also there you may need to be diplomatic. The sacred degrees of March, where Jupiter and the Sun are taking place on your fourth house, your home. So when you research, when you take your time in peaceful place at home, you may reach through information, abundance of information. You may receive the help at home, or it can be real true blessing. So the main emphasis will be knowledge, empathy, children, love, because the moon appeared in your fifth house. It is quite benevolent month. Will not bring great financial results, but if you are very diplomatic, well, it may require indeed diplomacy when you communicate with others too, because Mercury and Saturn are together. And indeed, it shows, and with Mars, with Venus, a bit complex. You see, and this is happening in your third house. So indeed, you may travel. When it will be about negotiations and sharing your knowledge, you need to be well prepared and diplomatic. But the main topic of the month for you is indeed the fifth house: creative knowledge, children, awakening, making money, but the results will not be great in March. They will arrive later. Then we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Sagittarius, or it will be moon in Sagittarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Capricorn. Now, Sagittarius people, Jupiter is ruling your ascendant. Right now, he's invisible. During the month of March, he will remain invisible. Such Jupiter is not very protective, but now he has totally different mission. His mission on your third house, the house of knowledge, studies, brothers and sisters, is to bring you on another level of your consciousness, awakening, knowledge, maybe improve relationships with brothers and sisters. So this is actually great. The first appearance of the moon is on your fourth house, importance of the home. This will be your main topic. Maybe work at home, loving your home, finding yourself comfortable at home with parents, let's say. The great stellium conjunction of planets is happening in your second house. Yes, this may give certain money opportunities, developments of certain financial deals, but will not bring great financial results. But you may have reached certain development, like a lot will be happening in relation to your finances, let's say investments, but not really great financial results because Venus is a bit suppressed. But later you may get good results. So just do your routine work. New beginnings you may not need to do now because, like I explained, the phases of Venus and Jupiter are not appropriate for that, not very promising. But just maintain the routine as it is, work on your awakening, and you will have great results. And now we are looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn, or moon in Capricorn, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Aquarius. Now, this is very interesting because all these planets, this huge stellium of Venus, Mars, Saturn, Mercury, Pluto, all are on your ascendant. This must be a little bit heavy. Maybe at times too much. At times this can put you in extremes of emotions, like being either too emotional, at times maybe melancholic, like it's too much. Well, just rely on what Jupiter and the Sun are giving you, which is they are in the sacred degrees on your second house. This is the house of your family roots, your family tree. So there is where you may find your awakening, your comfort, the information, your enlightenment, and this could give you great results. And the moon appeared for the first time on your third house. Emphasis on knowledge, education, spirituality, enhancing your intuition, communication, and improving relationship with brothers and sisters, maybe even travel. Just that you may need to be a bit in control on your you know, on your emotions, because of all these planets which are a bit too complex on your ascendant. They can even have impact on your relationships, meaning that also with your partner you may need to be a bit patient, you know, loving, cautious, because of this placement. New beginnings also for you in the month of March may not be very advisable, simply because of the phases of Venus and Jupiter, and also some other factors for your horoscope in particular. And now we will look at people who have sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or if we're looking from the perspective of the modern astrology, this will be Pisces. Now already for a long time, already 2 years and more. Saturn, your ascendant ruler, is in your 12th house. You know how it feels. Maybe you went through your great awakening. Now you're on another level of your consciousness. You know so much more. But now it becomes a little bit even more more complex, because Mars, Venus, Saturn, Pluto, Mercury are all together in Capricorn, which is emphasis again on your awakening, on your, let's say, on your desires to opt for solitude, can make you desire to research the occult, to help others, to visit temples, to let's say, to concentrate on healing. All these activities are very, very possible. This can disturb your sleep a little bit, but on the other hand, you have great event, which is Jupiter and the Sun in the sacred degrees in March on your ascendant. Truly great opportunity for your awakening, like beautiful opportunity, which is not happening just every day or every month. It's a true blessing. It will give you energy to know, to research, and the information will come easy. What, I didn't hear you?
Nothing.
Okay. The emphasis is of the moon in your second house, family roots, family tree. This is very important, to give attention to this, to the family, and also money will be very important. The month is not financially perfect, but well, you just do your maintain your routine work and you have better results. But the month for no one is brilliant financially. And like I mentioned, Jupiter and Venus are not in a phase to promise us great new beginnings, so we may need to wait a little bit in March. Then we're looking at the last ascendant, Pisces, sidereal or moon in sidereal Pisces, or if we're looking from the perspective of the modern tropical astrology, this will be Aries. Now, Jupiter, who rules your ascendant, is on your 12th house in sacred degrees, meaning great opportunity to receive knowledge, how to receive your enlightenment and further awakening, to enhance your intuition through your own hidden place, like visiting temple, doing your own sacred secret research, even receiving it through enemy, like there could be an event which will not be very pleasant, but will give you a great level of enlightenment. The moon emphasizes on you. You are important. Your emotions, what you are going through, this is important. The great stellium of planets, it's happening on your 11th house. This is fine financially, but interesting for your social circle, can make things very busy socially, very important, can make very busy financial deals, financial matters, how you make money, but great financial results I don't see also for your ascendant, but average, and after that, your efforts will be rewarded. But right now, with invisible Jupiter, Venus with Capricorn, we may need to be a bit patient in the month of March. And later, with the appearance of Jupiter, we'll have much better results. Also for you, like I said, new beginnings, because of the phases of Venus and Jupiter, may not be very appropriate, but indeed maintaining just the status quo, the routine, doing your financial deals or investments, or just the way you do, but with patience, because a better time will come. with the change of phases of the planets, but this I explained earlier. So this was more or less about the 12 ascendants, Wada.
Thank you so much, Krasi, for bringing us up to date. Mila, get away.
Mila, you're beautiful.
Sorry, thank you.
No, sorry.
Mila, oh my God, I'm sorry about that. Thank you so much, Krasi. If anyone wants to contact Krasi for a reading, there'll be a link underneath. Krasi also makes incredible talismans done in very ancient way, the way the ancient Babylonians and are there any talismans coming soon, Krasi?
In March, yes. I didn't do 2 months. I didn't do any because there was not really. It was not. The sky was not so proper. But in March, I'll be doing speaker, which is for the speech. Speaker talismans. What else was I just? And Mars. No, Mars was in April. It was mainly speaker. Aldebaran as well. Yes, and then for the first time, I'll be making Mars, which will be the month after. Yes, the talismans are meant to help us maintain certain, let's say, yes, if the certain weaknesses in the horoscope to improve. But what you knows about that?
And Aldebaran will be for wealth, for luck.
Yes, Aldebaran, wealth.
Strength. Yeah.
Yes, luck, improving luck.
The luck is the best star, and speaker is the other best star. Is the star of in Western astrology is associated with Mother Mary, Virgin Mary, and in ancient astrology with Isis, so it has kind of a feminine, angelic influence as well.
So, yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Wada. All the best, everyone.
Have a great day. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.